What is going on, everybody? It is Alex coming back at you with another video. And today I'm going to be continuing going with some USFL content because this is Hail Mary sports, and that includes football in general. So I guess it's kind of an easy way to make an excuse for wanting to do some USFL content. Also, it's kind of fun. And USFL people, you guys don't have enough YouTubers out there yet. So I want to be one of those people who's looking out for you. I want to talk about what 15 players in this draft that I think are absolute, or not in the draft, but technically it is 15 guys in the USFL who I think are going to be the biggest impact players that are non-quarterbacks. So if you come at me for the quarterbacks, I'm coming for you. But let's kick this off with a bang. If you guys do like all this content, I put a lot of work into this stuff. So feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the journey, because I know these videos in the USFL don't get that many views, but I want to do it for you guys anyways. Let's kick it off with a bang. We got Jamar Summers, who I accidentally slipped up. I saw that he was just out of Connecticut, if I'm not mistaken. And I was like, yeah, I don't vibe with Connecticut corners. Forgetting about the fact this guy's a baller. He was known as the Jalen Ramsey of, if I'm not mistaken, the XFL. And honestly, I really like what he's brought to the table. You know, when you bring that high level of production into a league that is pretty much just like copycat, like we've seen AAF, XFL, USFL, they're all the same type of summer league. I think that is a phenomenal get. And he's definitely going to be probably one of the bigger leaders in this league, just because of the fact that he's been here multiple times. He's shown production. And, you know, again, he also has some time with NFL teams. I believe the Lions got him and the Dolphins. So like he definitely has a great foundation for success in this league. I keep wanting to say division. It's killing me because I do all these team mocks just like this. But yeah, I think that he's going to be a big get. Let's talk about the next player. Obi Melifonwu. He could be better. Could be better than Jamar Summers, because this guy was a second round pick and he was like number 46 or something. He tested out of his mind at the combine, 4'4" at 6'4", 224. Just absolutely insane. He's been trained by Bill Belichick. He went to the Raiders. He got drafted by the Raiders as well. Just absolutely insane athlete. This is a perfect spot for him to flourish too, because again, you wouldn't be drafted in the second round just because of your athleticism. Like, you have to offer something else. And I think that Obi does have a little bit of what it takes to be an elite defensive back in this, I keep wanting to say division, in this league for the Tampa Bay Bandits. That was an absolute steal. I love it. Also, Tampa Bay is kind of my team right now, but you will see how much love the New Orleans Breakers gets in this, because I really like a lot of their picks. Jonathan Adams, he just came out like last year, and he had 1,100 yards just last year. You'll see another guy in this who I said has 1,100 yards and 10 touchdowns. That's over his career. This is last year. Jonathan Adams is one of my favorite dudes as a late round pickup, and I probably had like a fifth on him. And he actually popped off to me. He was on my players to watch list when I didn't actually go that deep into his studying before the draft. So he popped off on tape, and I think that he could be easily the best wide receiver in this league. You know, he has that kind of Eric Ezukanma frame, 6'3", 220, who I honestly hope a lot of these receivers start going to the USFL and continuing. A lot of these guys who might be UDFAs go to the USFL first as a high-end draft pick, because again, maybe they're afraid of this league not lasting, but I think that would be a really good place to be able to prove yourself and get even more hype. The USFL used to attract some of the biggest names back in the day, and I think that with proven over time could do that again. The only issue, of course, with Jonathan Adams is not many NFL snaps, and he hasn't had more than an offseason of coaching from NFL players or NFL coaches. So that's the only bad side. But Michael Scott is next. Of course, I had to toss him in here. The name is phenomenal, but if you actually look at him, he's not too shabby. He's actually pretty young, if I'm not mistaken. He came out in 2019 or 2020. And like, when you look at him, you look at the measurables and they're phenomenal. He's 6'5", 245. He actually didn't do too shabby over there at Oklahoma State. And I think he had about 19 or 20 pressures on average over the last 2 years. It might be like 17. Regardless, he was actually putting up pressure, at least every so often, and that's against Big 12 competition. I think the offensive line in this league is actually really bad. I'm just going to be honest. I don't have any faith in it at all. And that's going to be perfect for Michael Scott to be able to feast and rise to the top. I absolutely love him. Yeah, but if I'm not mistaken, he doesn't have any NFL experience, but that is okay. Yeah, he is going to be, he's not my 5th ranked edge. I forgot to change that. He's my 1st ranked edge on the board. So number 5, we got Brennan Eagles here. So I know Broshmo and I are going to go head to head against this guy. Here we go. There's the 1,000 yards, 11 touchdowns at UT. The guy, I just kept watching him, and he keeps making plays. His frame's perfect, 6'4", 220, very similar to Jonathan Adams. Again, he just came out last year, did not get to play NFL snaps, but he was on the Dallas Cowboys, and you're in a pretty good receiver room with that. Didn't get to see his 40 time. Again, PFF is usually pretty good with having their 40 times and stuff there. And Brennan Eagles is never the top guy on his team, but when you saw it, he had over 17, I think it was 17.9 average depth of target, which is really good. You can use him as a deep threat, and at 6'4", 220, sign me up for that. Yeah, Brennan Eagles, I really liked him too. He was a guy who popped off to me. So big fan of that. Jamon Moore, or Jamon Moore, however you like to say it, going to the New Jersey Generals. As long as you can account for his 4.6 speed, I think that's a phenomenal pick. He was a guy when, I'm pretty sure, back when the other Moore on the Panthers was being drafted, some people were saying Jamon Moore is better. I was never there, but you know, when you see a guy who has a 6'3" frame compared to obviously the other Moore, I mean, I could see how his ceiling could be higher, but obviously definitely wasn't. He was just in the NFL recently, and he's been actually used in a lot of reps. So I think that's a phenomenal pick. He could end up better than the first 2 guys. I just like the kind of the ambiguity, so to speak, of those 2 in front of him, especially with those big frames and honestly, just I think better athletic profiles. Next, we got Adonis Alexander. I think that he's an absolute steal. He's definitely a guy who, when you look at him, he's from Virginia Tech for one, so he's going to be, you already know he's going to be trained well. He doesn't even need the NFL reps, but of course, he actually has been in the NFL for quite a while. And again, you look at his size, 6'3", and he's solid. And you look at the PFF grades, all of them about 70, and that is really good. That's called consistency. DBs don't usually get very high PFF grades because it's not a position that you always perform consistently at. So I think Adonis Alexander, I had a hard time not putting him higher. I mean, again, he's number 3 on my DB rankings right now. Could be moving higher if he's better than Jamar Summers. But I think that he's absolutely amazing as a steal for the Breakers. Next, we got Eli Rogers. So Tampa Bay Bandits and New Orleans Breakers are getting a lot of love from me. He was just, I mean, I remember him in Pittsburgh. I loved him, and it really hurt to see him go. The last time he played in the NFL was 2018, so he hasn't had any recent NFL experience. But, I mean, the guy was very good. I watched him play, and I was like, this guy was our on-sale Deontay Johnson. So when I saw him in here, I wanted to put him higher, but again, he is a little bit older, so I wanted to give a little bit of love to those guys ahead of him that were about 26, 23, and 22. I think that would be, or maybe 24. Regardless, very young guys versus someone who's probably like 29, 30 to 31. Let's go to Devontae Bausby next. He just hasn't been performing very well in the NFL. It doesn't offer much of a ceiling in this league if they do last more than a season. Just again, he's 29, so it's not like you're going to have him probably around playing at a high level for more than 2-3 years. But still a very solid corner because he's been starting in the NFL for a long time. Like, he's been doing starting reps. He's been going in there actually playing. So seasoned veteran, definitely wanted to put him higher than this, but that age and the fact that he kind of got ousted from the NFL because he couldn't play kind of put him down here. And then, of course, I put number 9 for Tre Walker. So we got 16 dudes. You guys have a treat today. Yeah, Tre Walker is next. So rip the graphic. Who cares? But yeah, Tre Walker, when you watch him at the Senior Bowl, he was able to just do an amazing job as being able to be a good separator. He had some NFL hype to him, just couldn't stick around with the Bills, and that's okay. You know, he doesn't have the best frame, 5'11", 280, and he never really did anything on the NFL field. But when you see what he could have brought to the table, again, he's super young too. There's a lot to love. There's definitely a lot to love. So San Jose State standout. I like it. Number 11 technically, but we'll just continue with the numbers on top. Number 10, we got Taywan Taylor. Yeah, he actually played for he played for Tennessee and actually had some starting reps in the slot. Like definitely a dude who, like, I remember when he started getting like 70 overall ratings in Madden, and I was like, dude, this guy has good enough speed. He has good route running. Like, he was somebody who I would usually have on my team. So Taywan Taylor definitely is somebody who could stand out. And again, another New Orleans breaker that I'm shouting out. Then we got Emanuel Hall. I remember when he was supposed to be like a second or third round pick. PFF was hyping him up big time. He had a 6'3" frame, and if I'm not mistaken, he ran like a 4.4. Just don't know what the hell happened. And super young, as you see there, 24.7 years old as of right now. He just is, I think, about 200 pounds flat, maybe 195. I just don't really get why he fell that much, but he couldn't stick in the NFL. Had some pretty good preseason plays, if I'm not mistaken, too. So definitely could be someone who's a big riser. But again, wide receiver 7 in a league with 8 teams, not shabby. Number 12, we got Johnnie Dixon here. Yeah, I mean, he's a kid that I actually have him. I had him, funnily enough, on a Madden franchise team. Had no idea who he was, but he makes plays on there. If you guys want somebody who's a deep sleeper who kind of has like that Madden RNG factor, it's him. But yeah, he has a good frame. I guess he's not going to be the tallest guy, but 200 pounds at 5'11", that's a good size. Definitely someone who's well built, and he actually didn't perform too poorly at Ohio State. So he's been around the NFL as well. Just again, 27.5 years old, a little bit rough, just nothing special to him either. Didn't perform at a high level in the NFL. Number 13, Tyson Graham. It kind of sucks to say he's a linebacker 1. It just shows you kind of how crap the linebackers are in this league. But yeah, he actually like had like a 30 PFF grade his final year. But he's 6'2", 208. He got drafted as a safety. He's being listed as an outside linebacker. I'm hoping he's going to be that Kyle Hamilton rover role. Not rover, because Kyle Hamilton's a safety, but that Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah rover role, because JOK was actually like, I'm trying to find a comp for this guy, and JOK and Kyle Hamilton were about 10 pounds heavier than this dude. We're just praying that in this league, there's not going to be enough physicality for a 210-pound dude to be totally outmassed. So let's hope. But again, Tyson Graham's there. Then you get Scooby, the man, Scooby Wright. Yeah, he ran a 4.940, which kind of sucks. And he's also a bit older, but you know, he actually, like, yeah, you look at his name, it's pretty phenomenal. He had a lot of NFL starting reps. He had, I think, a pretty good year with the Browns as well, the Cardinals. And yeah, he's been around. He's been around to the Patriots as well, as you can see. So big fan of what Scooby Wright brings to the table. And last but not least, technically number 16, but number 15, Bryan Mills just came out, I believe, last year. One of the first Senior Bowls I watched rep for rep. And yeah, I mean, he definitely wasn't like the exact high end of the Senior Bowl, but he had some pretty good reps in there. He was NFL caliber. I think he was on the Seahawks. And again, he just came out very recently. But his problem is, you look at him, I think he's 6 foot, like 180. Like, this is a pretty thin frame, and he didn't really get to do much there at, I believe, it wasn't Central Connecticut, but I think it might have been Central Carolina. There was a school, it was like a Central something. Okay. It was a small school, and you only got to start 1 year. So that is going to be the video, guys. Unfortunately, I do not have anything past this, but I wanted to do a 16 just like I did the other one. And of course, we got that 999. But still, I hope you guys did enjoy regardless. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys on the far side. Peace.